Hi, my name is Martin, and would like to talk about a subject that's a little bit different on this particular occasion, and that is bullying, or to be bullied. And we think of it, generally speaking, as something that happens with young children or young teens being affected by it, and very definitely that is the case. And I'll get back to an incredible documentary called Bully that was done a number of years ago. But I'd like to say also that the subject really applies to all of our lives, really. It is beyond children. It is actually in the larger world itself, where we see opportunities for some particular person or group to try and take advantage of other people, to try and make their particular viewpoints as being more important or dominant than somebody else. We're seeing it in business where a manager or somebody who is a superior will take advantage of the people that work under him or her. And they treat them in a very negative way, basically demanding this or demanding that, and going beyond what actually is what's considered normal. I mean, basically it should be an environment where people are cordial to each other, even though one has a higher position, they're still not going to dominate. They're going to be, in some sense, this is what needs to be done. I hope we can all work towards that end. But oftentimes that's not the case. The case is, this is what I want, and you're going to do it. And if you don't do it, then let's just see things are not going to work out well for you. It could be in family situations. Unfortunately, many times, maybe the parents, but oftentimes siblings, the older siblings could or would take advantage of the younger ones, dominating them, especially if there's a little bit of an age differential where they feel like, hey, I'm above you and you've got to follow what I say, and if not, there's going to be trouble. And that is the case in many, many family situations. It could be in sports. It could be the dominance of one versus another on a team, and they're going to take advantage of the fact that they are either a better player or their parents are the ones who are the coaches. It could be, in a broader sense, politically. It could be one particular political party or political faction saying, this is what I want or we want, and you've got to abide by it. Whether it is taking medicine that you don't particularly want to do or that is being demanded of you, or it could be that a belief system in one factor or another that you don't normally go along with, but they're putting full strength. No, this is the way that we want it. So it goes beyond really just children. It goes into adulthood, where perhaps throughout our lives we've got to watch out for it and hopefully align others that feel the same way to work against it. But going back to the movie, the documentary, it is really wonderful. It was done, I think, in about the range of 2011. It was created by a gentleman by the name of Lee Hirsch. Lee Hirsch created this as a director, but his point was basically to show it as how this is occurring in schools. And he uses a number of examples. The basic ones are that the school bus situation. In one particular instance, and probably the highlight of the movie, because it's brought back to it a lot, is a gentleman by the name of Tyler Long. Tyler committed suicide at the age of 17. He was absolutely, totally bullied on a constant, regular basis. And when I say bullied, it's for a lot of different reasons people are bullied. It could be their appearance. It could be their intelligence. It could be that they're a little bit different than the others. Or it could be, one is taller than the other, so you're nothing, I'm everything. And they take advantage, whether they be pushing them on the bus, or it could be hitting them. It could be teens ganging up on another one. It could be hitting them into locker. In one particular instance, or probably many, many throughout the United States and elsewhere, it could be the clothes that are left outside when one boy or girl is taking a shower, the clothes are taken away from them. So they have to walk out and there's nothing there. And they have to find a resolution to that problem. and the other ones are just laughing, unfortunately. In one particular instance, it was a 14-year-old girl in the South who was being taken advantage so much by so many people on the bus that she just had enough, and there was no way out for her. Every day she faced that. I'm not sure she communicated that to her family, but nonetheless, what happened ultimately is that she brought a gun on the bus, and she brandished that gun to stop the bullying. And ultimately she was put down, but she was brought up with 44 counts of attempted murder and placed into a juvenile detention center. The warden basically said is that she could be charged if she found those charges sufficient. 44 counts of attempted murder and many lives in prison. Fortunately, it did not happen. There was a later verdict that after a couple of years in the juvenile prison, that she was released to a wellness center, and then she has to spend some time there, and then ultimately got back to her family. But there were other situations where a young boy was known as Fish Face. He just had a funny looking face. And so the kids would take advantage of him and would call him Fish Face, a pussy, a fag. They would punch him, hitting him, spitting, whatever they could do to hurt him, they would. And the boy almost became immune to it all and go back to his parents. And obviously the parents say, after school they go. And at some point, he just said, no, it was fine, but it really wasn't fine. There was a boy by the name of Ty Field in Oklahoma that was really sad. He was only, I believe, 11 years of age, and he could not take it anymore and committed suicide. And there are many, many situations like that where they either do not want to go to school on many days. The estimates are that up to 165,000 children do not go to school on any one particular day precisely because of the fact that there is bullying, or they're going to face bullying. And in some way, they have noticed that, yeah, this is us. And you keep on wondering, what if a politician's son or daughter was bullied or attacked, and they went to the school? What would be different? And probably the feeling was that things would change in a day or 2 days, but it would not persist. And that is oftentimes the truth. But it is pervasive no matter where. It is not just the United States. It is all around the world. People, young people, take advantage of other young people. There is a rebellion against it, and they're trying to do it in groups, whether it be town hall meetings or whatever. Oftentimes when they do have town hall meetings, the school officials do not show up. The people on school boards do not show up. And so like the people that could make a difference in school don't. And the teachers and the principals often say, well, this is an isolated incident. It's not all the time. For the most part, we do not have a problem. And the other is, kids will be kids. In 2 years, it will all be different. Yes, sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. And there are wounds and scars on so many children throughout the country and throughout the world. I guess the feeling from the different meetings is that everything starts with one. And that is if one person stands up and says something and others join in, perhaps a movement can be gained so that it is beyond just one particular person, one particular child that committed suicide, one particular child that was hurt, and maybe there could be a movement to where the bullying is seen as a real threat and is stopped. To that end, I'd like to say just thank you very much for listening, and what an incredible, very important topic. Think about it. It's real. So until the next time, thank you very much for listening.